All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is grant writing, easy as 1, 2, 3. That was one of my grant titles from a few years ago. If you could please make sure to type in the text box your name so I can record, make sure I have proof of PD credit. I'd appreciate that. And please let me know if you're not okay with me sharing this with everybody.
Attention teachers, Kathryn Berrios' grants training is live on Zoom at this time. Please revert to your email and get logged on. Thank you.
Oh, that was very kind of them. All right, so we might have a few more people joining us, but again, I'm going to send this out as a PowerPoint, send the PowerPoint out, and I'm going to send the Zoom recording out after the training. So if you need to go back and look at anything, you can. And if you have it, this will be for all our colleagues that just couldn't make it today as well. And if anybody has any questions, you can always email me afterwards. You can type in the chat box. And again, I really appreciate all of you being here, and please do put your name in put your name in the chat box so I can record that later and make sure I have PD credit for everybody. I still have a couple people going in, so yes, again, please just type your name in the chat box so I have so I can turn that in, and make sure to sign up on 8088 for your PD credits. Just put in an hour for this one, even though I don't think we'll be here that long. So again, welcome to my grant training. This year, the Education Foundation has made it where they're only doing $500 grants, and you can only apply for one. That is a little bit different than years past. Let me go ahead and start the slideshow. That's a little different from years past, where they've had group grants and where you could go for up to $5,000 with partners. So this year, I think they're trying to get to as many people as possible, since they know they understand what we're facing right now as far as coming back to school and COVID procedures and everything else. So our learning intention today, we're going to collaborate in using helpful grant writing tips to create an SRQ, Education Foundation grant account. We're also going to understand what is required for a complete grant application, and we're going to work with colleagues on Zoom here to brainstorm grant goals, project descriptions, activities to help our students strive higher. So our success criteria, we are going to initiate or continue the process of writing a grant, hopefully awarded through the generosity of the Education Foundation. All right, so first of all, you are going to create an account. Again, if you were just watching for right now, that's perfectly fine. You can go to later. I'm going to go to that link myself right now and log in so I can switch back and forth between showing you my grant that I'm working on live that I'm going to actually submit today. And I will also send out a template with all of my grant material with a sample grant for COVID-related classroom materials handless hand sanitizer pumps, the air purifiers, things like that I've seen that a lot of people are wanting. So you're going to log in with your or create a new account, and it's going to be your school email address. And you'll set up a password and all that. And the first thing you're going to do, these are all my historical grants, but the main thing is to go in and, sorry, still admitting people. I'm going in to apply. And if you're starting a new grant, you're going to go to that blue button right there where it says apply.
Okay. Kathryn, I just want to let you know we're still seeing only your PowerPoint.
Here. Okay, well, thank you. Let me screen share. I appreciate that. I'm going to stop share here. And
what was the password?
For your account, you're going to create your own.
Oh, you took, okay, I see, sorry.
Yes, you're going to create your own. No worries. And let me try screen sharing the right page again. Fun times with Zoom, right? It also, if you just joined in, please type your name in the text box so I can make sure to show proof of signing in for credit, and also make sure to sign in on 8088 for the PD credit. Okay, so is everybody seeing my screen now where it says application? Bob, is that showing up where it says application?
Yep.
Perfect.
Apply, it says.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
Yep.
So when you're on the home page, it's going to say up in the upper corner to apply. And then you are going to hit the blue button that says apply, and that's going to start your new grant. And you'll scroll down and you go through here. I'm going to go back to home because I started one last night. So I highly recommend save as you go along. And I also recommend start the typing process like in Microsoft Word for any of your text that you're going to use, just in case there's an accident, it times out, computer dies, anything like that, so that it's on Microsoft Word and you don't lose all of your work. But again, while you're in the grant application, I would definitely save it periodically to make sure. So my saved application here is Corona Cleansed Classroom 2020. I like using alliteration for my titles. It's worked well for me in the past. I'm going to go to Edit Application so you guys can see what mine looks like. When you create your account, it's going to have all your sign-in information, etc. And like I said before, I think they're trying to get to as many teachers as possible this year. Grant requests limited to 500 requests per educator. And so you're going to put your title in. And the biggest and the longest part of the grant is simply these two columns. You don't have to use all the word characters, but it's 1,500 characters each. I am going to send, after this, I'll send everybody the template I made up so that you guys can just modify it to your needs, but to give you an idea of the basic verbiage, because I really hope everybody is going to get as many supplies as possible, and through their generosity, and I've personally been very blessed by the Education Foundation, so I know they're trying their best to help as many teachers as possible this year. So I'll let you guys read this at your leisure when I send it out, but basically that I made a grant for cleaning stations to help disinfect cleaning supplies, learn personal responsibilities for maintaining their environments, teaching career skills. So make sure you don't specifically mention Northport High School. Try to make it, even though you might be just requesting cleaning supplies, try to make it as creative as possible regarding how it's going to teach your students something, whether it's life skills, personal responsibility, procedures in general, etc. So with mine, and I'll also include a basic budget with my template I'm going to send everybody, but I asked for small utility baskets. I actually had some from another grant I used to use as book baskets in elementary that I was able to put out on my tables to make cleaning stations. I'm also going to ask for the folding custodian type paper towels, the ones that go in the dispensers, so it's easier instead of ripping from a roll just to put out in the baskets. And I also bought, I'll show this later, but little like personalized travel size spray bottles that I put the alpha spray in, so that each workstation, they have their own spray, they have their own paper towels to cut down on me circulating the room as much, maximize class time, and maximize instruction. So as far as the activities description, I said a lot of the same things. I said I also plan to incorporate a language arts lesson about writing sequences so that students can make presentations, as well as posters. They can make their own, how to follow Corona classroom cleaning procedures. And I also asked for a standing desk for myself. I know that's not something everybody needs or wants, but that's also what I'm going to include in mine. And I'm going to add in here, actually, as this, and I'm going to add this will also help maximize, I'm going to put that in my other one. And always just reread it. I was working on this later last night, so I went through it quickly. But you always want to reread and have somebody. I'm always happy to read yours as well if you want to email it to me. So I'm going to add in here. This will also help maximize instruction time. So instruction time. Period. Oh, 1 over. Anyway, so. There we go. And again, so after you make a change like that, I would always scroll down to the bottom, save application. So again, I highly suggest doing that in Microsoft Word first. You can always, you save, continue, and then I'm going to go back in. So the other major things on the application, those are the 2 longest portions of it, just, typing up what you want. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint for just a second. I also suggest, screen share my screen. There you go. Share. I also suggest I would do your wish list first. That's usually how I start, is like shopping on Amazon. That's also the quickest way to be able to order your grants. This is just the whole COVID thing they were talking about, the $500 each. The wish list helps first because then you can kind of write around what you want. Again, that's what works for me. Make an itemized budget. So when you make an Amazon wish list, you can always just set it to print and then copy all your items and then put them in Microsoft Word and, format it so it's very easy to read as far as I want one at whatever dollar cost, but I'll show you guys that in a minute. So, and just try to keep it under $500. Thinking of a catchy title if you can. This is the, request description, 1,500 characters, how it's going to benefit students. Be really descriptive with your activities, like how you're going to implement it. And then as far as the basic info section, I know they're trying to get money out earlier this year. They said, I believe, mid-October. So as far as your start date in your grant, you can choose end of October, and it'll say through the end of May. And let's see, let me go back to the application itself. Stop share, and then reshare. And so as far as, like I said, the start date, I just put towards the end of October, the end date, the end of May, schools to be served, Northport High School, and then all grade levels served. If you have kids, I know most of us have, same grade levels in general, but many of you do serve multiple grade levels, select all that apply. Total number of students impacted, you can go through your rosters and count exactly, but we know, throughout the year that could easily change. Just give a fair approximation of, approximately how many students you have per class. And I usually just round it up because, again, round it up fairly, obviously, but again, you might have clubs that you're serving. You might be a coach where you have students that come in your class, so they're using hand sanitizer or whatever your materials that you want. So think of every student that you work with and add that to your number for sure. Low performing students, I teach intensive language arts, so they're all low performing. Special needs students, most of mine are red ribbon, so that counts, including gifted students, so don't forget them as well. So again, I'm just making an estimate. I know at least 75% of my class has a red ribbon. It's probably actually higher, but I think that's a fair approximation. You're going to put your content area, like mine's English language arts. If you teach a secondary content area, go ahead and select whatever that is. And then you're going to tell, is this your first time applying for a grant? No, for me, but it might be for you. And then have you applied for this project? Sometimes I've done continuing projects in the past, so I would have clicked yes if that was the case here. Please think of any social emotional learning that you can apply to this. Mine definitely, my cleaning stations definitely include one. Self-management. Obviously, SEL has been a big push for the past few years. It's more critical than ever this year. And as far as college and career readiness, I definitely think this plays into teamwork skills, working together, keep our classroom clean, keep us all safe. No, mine does not support a CTE program, but yours might. And then as far as the Export SRQ, even though we're not doing field trips right now, they have some amazing like online things that you can apply for. I highly encourage you to check it out. I have not done an SRQ one personally, but I've gone through the website several times, and they have some. I've known other teachers that have and helped them apply for one, and they have some absolutely fantastic learning experiences that can be done, like not in the actual physical field trip. What's that? Question chat. Oh, question chat. Let me go to chat.
I think the answer is no.
Let me double check. All right. The specific type of grants this year, Carla, they're only doing one. So instead of like in years past where you could apply for a collaboration grant of like $5,000 or like a department's size grant for $1,000, they're only doing one. So you only have one selection. It's for classroom grant for $500. So I think it's just called. Go back to the top. You don't even have a chance to select it this year. It's just the automatic $500, one per teacher. So again, I think they're trying, no multiple applications this year. They're only taking one because I think they're trying to spread the money out as much as possible to impact as many teachers. So it's one per teacher and $500 each. So I did read up at the top that if things change and, restrictions start easing, they might revisit that. So fingers crossed, hopefully that's so. So as far as where we were, this is, again, I think I got through this in maybe an hour last night. A lot of people get overwhelmed thinking of like, oh my gosh, this is a grant. That sounds, really overwhelming to do. It honestly isn't. The first two columns were the biggest ones as far as like typing out what you want and doing the budget. The rest of it, you're just kind of making your selections as far as like, how this is going to impact. So again, it took, I'm obviously practiced at it and done it several times, but it honestly, even for a first-time person, it really, they've simplified it and streamlined it so much, and it should only take, a couple hours or so. And again, shopping for what you want might be the longest part of the process. So I got my grant. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Kathryn, I do have a question. If you can only submit one application, either they approve or deny the grant, right?
Well, they'll still approve or deny. I don't know how much funding they have, but again, I think they're trying to spread it out as much as possible this year by only letting each teacher apply for one and only at a $500 limit. Like in years past, you could select, like I'm going for $5,000 or I'm going for $1,000. This year, you don't even have an option to select.
And my next question is, when I asked you if they were prioritizing a specific type of grants, I was meaning like, for example, in your case, you are asking supplies to keep your classroom safe.
Oh, yeah.
In this case, I want to apply for books. So are they going to give priority to a specific type of grant? Like if you want like cleaning supplies and I want books, they are going to pay more attention to you? So that is a dumb question. I don't know.
Fair question, but it's not one that I can confidently answer. I will be happy to reach out to the Education Foundation. I honestly can't say if they're going to prioritize. Of course, you can apply for books. I have several people that do have like classroom type projects like books or learning materials that they want. Again, I don't know if they're going to prioritize. I do know that they put each grant, at least in years past, in front of a committee of a community volunteer, so at least 3 people would read each grant application, and they don't see the name, they don't see the school or anything. They just they have a rubric and
description.
What's that?
They just see the description, whatever you write. They don't see the name of the school.
Correct. Correct. So they don't know where it's going and who's getting it, and they just judge based on their rubric. And again, I'm not an insider as far as how that scoring process goes, so I don't know if there's going to be a priority on cleaning stuff this year. So, but I'll certainly be happy to reach out and ask them. So as far as like your budget description, again, I'll send this out. As far as like my grant template, you're welcome to borrow, just to get or use some of the same items if you think they're, if you think they're good. But mine was basically like automatic hand sanitizer dispensers, paper towels, the easy fold ones, one of the HEPA filters, or two HEPA filters, and then I wanted a standing desk. So anyway, I know everybody will want different stuff. So whatever you want, just make it easy to read as far as like, very specific, like 2 at whatever each, and then a basic description. I just copy and pasted from my Amazon wish list. It doesn't even have to be that descriptive. You could just simply put like, textbooks, whatever name textbooks from this company, or, basic baskets, because if you could find it cheaper somewhere than you initially quoted it, in the past they've always said, like, use your money up, just make sure it's for something that was, what your project was about. So if I find, spray bottles cheaper, I could always, get them cheaper and then buy more of them, or buy something else related to my project. So anyway, going through the budgets, and I put the total at the end. I don't have any contracted workers. All of mine's classroom materials. I don't have any software, hardware. So you just put 0 for anything that doesn't apply to you. I actually did calculate like how much I use again. It was everything but the paper towels. So I calculated it to 84%. Again, just a fair estimate of how much you could reasonably reuse. Supporting documents. In years past, I've been able to upload files that specifically supported when I was doing a grant for the special needs project for our living skills. Like basically showed them some of our lesson plans. If you're doing something for books, you could always upload like a text sheet or something that supports why this is going to help learners. I don't have anything personally for it this year, but anything you think would support your case, feel free to upload. A couple years ago, I uploaded a picture of my first classroom here at Northport, where I had the arm connected chair desk and didn't have a lot on my walls yet, and just put a sad face on it, like, oh please, we want all this bouncy balls and seating and all this cool alternative seating, just anything you think is going to argue for your case. Certificate and release form, I would definitely recommend if so you can go 2 ways. You can ask for the check to be made out to you, or you could have it made out to your school. It's up to you how you want to do this. But again, if it comes directly to you, you're going to have to pay the sales tax yourself. And you're going to have to make sure you incorporate that into your budget, and make sure that you account for all your receipts, because at the end of the year, if you do get awarded a grant, you're going to have to do a grant report. It takes about as long as the application, so they make it very streamlined. But basically, they're going to ask how effective your grant was, how it helped your students. They definitely take pictures throughout the year of the students using it and your projects related to it, and whatnot. So if you want the check made out to your school, they'll send it straight to Amy, or straight to bookkeeping, and then Amy will make you your own school account, and then you can work with her through ordering. Obviously, this is a very hectic year. Amazon is definitely the easier way to go. I mean, if you have something you want to order through, like Carlos said, like textbooks, of course she's going to help you, and she's going to do all of that and go through it. But I would highly recommend not having like 4, 5, 6 different websites to order from, because that's a lot of work on her. So I would just recommend making it as streamlined as possible if it is coming out to school. Hey, you could totally combine textbooks and air filters. Again, try to be as creative as possible as far as we want air filters to keep us safe. We're going to have books, so each student can have their books so that we can continue whatever your class is that you're teaching. how it's going to help them, how it's going to improve their learning, et cetera, et cetera. As far as the observation research request, this part is new about the surveys. Would you be willing to give pre-post surveys? They said they'd let us review first, so that'd be great. I'm always okay with surveys as long as I get to see them first, and then so they can show a greater understanding of the impact of the grants. And in years past, they've asked if they could come visit your classroom. I've always tried to keep an open door because Education Foundation has been so incredibly generous with me, so I'm always happy to have them visit. So I always try to at least reach out to invite them if possible, but they're not even asking for that this year. I think they know since we can't have visitors on campus. But so the surveys, again, they said it won't have an impact on your application. So anyway, at the end it says, by certifying the following, you're just basically saying, you agree with everything they're saying that you're going to comply with, and you do an electronic signature. And then make sure you submit before 9:10 at 11:59, and I'm going to go ahead and submit. So you'll wait. I think you should probably get an email too, but you'll see the application has been submitted, and then you'll go to continue. And you'll be able to see on your dashboard, Corona Cleansed Classroom 2020. And I would, for your records, you're going to see an email pop up saying successfully submitted. And then I always try to save my application packet just so I have it. Especially if you get awarded, that's a easy way to go and make sure that you can go back to anything you already talking about your activities or what you did and how it applied, and save, and then it has all your stuff in there. So go back to my PowerPoint real quick. Most of the information I just went through, but again, on the PowerPoint, if you want to go through, look in detail, I detailed everything on there that I just went through. Share. So we're ahead of that already. As far as we went through the budget and then electronic signature, our wonderful Jenna Teal, if you have any questions, I'm sure she's happy to help out as well. She's always so supportive of all of us and our entire school. I think I saw her sign in, so thank you, Jenna, for being here. And again, if you have any questions, want me to read over your grant, anything like that, obviously just, send me an email, put my personal number in here. You can send me a text. If you're right at crunch hour, feel free to text me. I'm always happy to look over stuff. I very, very much want everybody to be able to get a grant if possible. And a couple final thoughts. I've heard the director of the Education Foundation, Earl Young, he told me, remember to remind people to have your grant speak to the reader. They're trying to inspire more of the volunteer readers to make donations as well. So if it hits them at home in their heart, I think, it helps them open up those pocketbooks, make some donations. That helps all of us. In the past, like I said, each grant's going to be read and scored at least 3 times by community volunteers after it's reviewed by the Educational Foundation of Sarasota County staff. And again, when community members are inspired, hopefully more willing to open those wallets. And check out more grant opportunities. The Gulf Coast Community Foundation or DonorsChoose.org might be another outlet to look at. I know there's a Facebook page some of us have joined, Adopt a Sarasota Teachers, where you can share your Amazon wish list. So again, any way we can help keep ourselves and keep our students safe is, going to be key. And does anybody have any final questions or comments? You can feel free to unmute yourself. You don't have to just use the text box either.
I appreciate you sharing. Thank you.
Oh, of course. I'm just taking a quick screenshot of all of our friends in here. And again, I'll go ahead and put this out to all staff so that if anybody else wants to, use my template or just, review what I've, showed on here, fantastic. And please feel free to reach out with any questions anytime. So I hope you all stay safe. Thank you again for joining me. And I hope you all have a great day and a wonderful first week.
Please, I'm recording.
All right. Why did my computer freeze? Okay, there we go. All right, thank you all again.